Hello, everyone, and welcome to Dark Shadow, your home for creepypastas, creepy things, and especially creepy gaming. Today, we're looking at a legend that has come up in the past decade. Today, we're talking about the Slenderman. The Slenderman, or Slender Man, was a fictional supernatural construct created by Eric Knudsen, aka Victor Surge, in 2009. It was his quote unquote idea of a supernatural being that was an unnaturally tall and thin humanoid wearing a black suit. The Slenderman has no face, ears, hair, nor pigment. Its hands and head are featureless and white as fresh snow. While Eric Knudsen is the creator of the Slenderman, others had argued that this being has roots in other legends, such as the Tall Man or the Broken Man. Both were unnaturally tall and thin, but those are tales for another time. Let's get back to Knudsen and his creation. An internet forum by the name of Something Awful held a Photoshop contest challenging members to create their own paranormal images. Knudsen, aka Victor Surge, submitted 2 photographs. Both images consisted of groups of children, which were the actual photos. Knudsen had skillfully added his tall, thin, supernatural being in a black suit. To solidify the lore of his creation, and to really creep out the viewers of these photos, Knudsen added flavor text along with the photographs he submitted. We are to believe that these blurbs are from witnesses and survivors. The first photo had the following text: "We didn't want to go. We didn't want to kill them, but its persistent silence and outstretched arms horrified and comforted us at the same time. Signed, 1983 photographer unknown, presumed dead." The second photo was just as chilling. It read, "One of 2 photographs from the Sterling City Library blaze, notable for being taken the day which 14 children vanished, and for what is referred to as the Slender Man. Deformities cited as film defects by officials. Fire at library occurred 1 week later. Actual photograph confiscated as evidence. 1986 photographer Mary Thomas missing since June 13, 1986. These added text helped to give depth to the photographs that Knudsen had altered. He was inspired by various authors and supernatural reports: Stephen King's The Mist, Zach Parsons' That Insidious Beast. Those inspired Knudsen, as did the urban myths or legends of the Mothman, the Mad Gasser of Mattoon, and even tales of the Shadow People. He even saw inspiration in survival horror games such as Resident Evil and Silent Hill. People loved Knudsen's creation, and he suddenly had an online phenomenon on his hands. The Slenderman had no official canon, but that didn't stop people from creating their own mythology or lore behind it. Creepypastas, short horror stories were created by various storytellers and spread across numerous sites. Full stories were also created by talented and imaginative authors about the Slenderman and its origins. Videos also started cropping up. Some videos were found footage style, showing a hunt for the Slenderman gone wrong, or finding layers or cults of Slenderman. Other videos were documentary style, speaking to the origins of the supernatural creature as if it was real or an ancient legend. The Slenderman has also found its way into gaming. A creature called the Enderman can be found in the game of Minecraft. The creature is a nod to Slenderman, although there are mostly differences between the two. Endermen come from their own dimension. They are tall and thin like the Slenderman. The only facial features that they have are eyes. Endermen are the color of onyx, and they can teleport, which the Slenderman can do as well. Water is the Enderman's weakness, and rather than steal children, they steal various blocks, placing them in other spots. The Slenderman itself actually received its own video games, however. Slender, the 8 Pages, was released in 2012 and was downloaded over 2 million times in its first month. Its sequel, which is currently playing in the background, named Slender the Arrival, was released in 2013. Now, this game also has the original Slender the 8 Pages included in the game itself. There was a rare variant of the 8 Pages called Slender's Shadow, and an iOS game simply titled Slenderman as well. As far as legend and canon, the stories will constantly change. Knutson's original vision always stands. Very tall, very thin, featureless, spectral humanoid wearing a black suit and tie. Other legends add that the Slenderman has tentacles that come from its back. Those tentacles are used to intimidate or capture children. The tentacles are also a source of the mysterious Slender sickness. If you get too close to the Slenderman, it can trigger delusions, rapid paranoia, nosebleeds, and nightmares. Slenderman can also teleport short distances. Some unpopular myths involve the Slenderman's arms actually being tentacles, or that its arms can extend. Another is that the Slenderman's face is visible to those that get close enough, and that its features appear differently to each who beholds it. There are also stories of the Slenderman chasing children or young adults. Adults who investigated the Slenderman could draw its attention and ire, but the Slenderman does not normally care to prey on them. It went after the young to drive them insane or act as his violent agents. This could be achieved with the Slender sickness or the creature's ability to interfere with audio and video recordings. Also, very creepy. There is also the Slender symbol, which can drive victims mad. Ultimately, no one knows what the Slenderman truly wants, what its goal is, if the creature is the only of its kind, how it feeds, its origin, or its purpose. The supernatural figure, while incredibly popular, received a bit of negative press in 2014. On May 31st of that year, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, 2 12-year-old girls led another 12-year-old classmate into a wooded area. The 2 girls then held down their classmate and stabbed her 19 times. The would-be assassins then left the area. Unbeknownst to them, the victim crawled out of the woods and onto a roadway where a cyclist saw her and alerted authorities, thus saving the youth's life. When the young would-be assassins were captured, they were asked about why they would do something so heinous. The girls claimed that they had read online that they needed to offer up a sacrifice to the Slenderman so that they may become proxies. They told authorities that the Slenderman demanded it, and if they did not do it, they were fearful that the Slenderman would harm their families. Both were to be tried as adults despite these strange and wild claims. One of the girls continued to speak on her perceived mythology of the Slenderman. She believed that the Slenderman could teleport at will, that it could read minds, that the Slenderman was always watching. She also claimed to have spoken with other fictional characters as well, and in August of 2014, she was found incompetent to stand trial, and the trial was suspended until her competency improved and was proved. In August of 2015, the girls were declared competent enough to stand trial, and that at 15 years of age, they could both be tried as adults. They were tried separately, with one girl claiming she was not responsible for her actions by reason of insanity. She pled to attempted second-degree homicide. The jury felt she was mentally ill during the attack. She was sentenced to hospitalization for 25 years from the date of the crime. The second girl pled guilty to attempting to commit first-degree homicide. On February 1st of 2018, she was sentenced to 40 years in the Wisconsin mental hospital. This is a very tragic tale, and no one knew what to make of it. Many wrote it off as children behaving poorly after taking a trip on the internet. None can fault Knudsen at all. He created an image for a Photoshop contest. The internet went wild and created a mythos far beyond. Although Knudsen owns the copyright to the Slenderman, the idea went viral. You can't make a video game, pen a book, nor script a movie without his permission. As we reflect on this story, were the girls truly disturbed mentally? Did they outsmart authorities? Have we failed as a society because we don't protect children from these sort of stories? Were the parents to blame for not being involved in their children's online activities? These are but a few of the questions that some have asked amongst forums, in postings, all kinds of comments. This is what they have felt, this is what they have asked. They are some questions that are valid, some are just far-fetched and over the top. One final thought, however, and one that has been suggested by those who believe deeply in the supernatural. Could it be that the girls did not have mental issues? Could it be that an entity took on the form of a tale from the internet to affect such young minds? There are questions some have asked. I leave these for you to discuss. Sweet dreams.